because I want you guys to focus on like that step after we shin cut, which enables my transition to the back. Okay? If I shin cut on a guy, if I shin cut and I just stay right here, he's like gonna hide his back. He's gonna start facing me, right? But when I do the shin cut right, and I slice and I step and I push that hip through and I start driving with the knee right here, even if he's framing on me, I can start fighting against his arm and start working my way to exposing his back. Okay, so what I'm gonna look for here, guys, is a choke we call the invisible collar. Right? I'm gonna look for a deep thumb in. Okay, and if you guys are having trouble getting this hand in, like if the collar's tight or whatever, you can grab with this hand and pull it open, right? And now I have my thumb to come in, and I put myself in position to start open the choke. Okay. From here, guys, I'm gonna put my head up and my hand on the shoulder, right? I'm gonna start working my way to the back. Okay, notice how my knee comes over, and I can start trying to like drive his hip over. Okay. My hand is gonna go back into that collar, and I'm gonna kickstand. Okay. From the kickstand, guys, notice how my chest is right below his shoulder here. I can start driving him forward. Well, can you put your back to the mat? A little bit harder to put the back to the mat. If he puts his back to the mat and he gets out, look at how I can transition to my head and arm choke, guys. Okay? So a couple different ways that you can do this. I've been liking this grip. And then putting my chin up into his eye socket. Get it? Okay? So it makes him not necessarily turn in, you know, that willingly, right? And if he does, I have the option to catch it. So I'm here, I kickstand, I drive him forward. My knee is gonna come up. From here, guys, I can tuck my foot and I can sit. From this sit, guys, I don't wanna create space where he can start pulling his arm through. So I need to make sure that I stay tight in my transition. Okay, so I keep my chest nice and tight, my knee comes up behind the head, I tuck my foot and I sit. From here, guys, this foot is gonna shave his ribs and come over his chest. Okay, I don't want it to come underneath his arm right here. It's gonna allow him to put me into the half guard, and there's things I can do from there, but it's not as cool as what I can do if I can shave my foot across, okay? From here, guys, notice how he's on top of my leg. I do not want to pull him on top of me right here. I can still do the choke from this position, it's just much more difficult. What I want to do is I want to sit him up, and I want to bring my leg over the top, and then I lock again. Okay, so this foot comes over the shoulder, this foot locks over that foot. Notice where my hand is, thumb on the collar, pressing into the neck, but the main part of my squeeze is going to be exposure of my wrist on the arm that's across the throat. From here, I want to straighten my legs and start squeezing onto the neck with the backhand. Okay, so backhand presses, this hand pulls, and I expose my wrist as my knees pinch. Okay, and that's my invisible collar choke. If he does start sitting up right here, guys, I will look for the choke for a minute. But if I'm having trouble finishing that, I'll bring my hand over the top, start bringing the leg over, and looking for my straight arm lock. I'll either do it that way or I'll bring my foot over the head up here the other knee. Okay, so again, find ourselves in this headquarters position, this half guard, standing half guard, hand on the knee, clear those hooks, shin cut, step. Even with him framing on me, guys, I have to navigate my way through this, right? You guys can always like swim your head through, right? You can already find your grips. Start driving him over to the side. If you're having trouble with this, you can always grab the arm like we were working this last week. From here, I can start working my hands into the collar. Hand is on the back here, like a horse collar. I'm gonna open up and kickstand. Okay, can you put your head back? Hold on, harder now, right? Put my hand here, okay? Knee comes up and follows. Tuck your foot, sit back. Don't give up the space though, don't sit back. Sit back. Foot comes up and shakes. Boom. One. Let him out. Two. Foot locks. And now squeeze my foot. So I expose that wrist, guys, and my knee drives. I don't like armbar myself or anything, but I drive that arm into his neck with the squeeze of my legs as well. Okay? Kind of like a perfect storm of grips, arm positioning, and legs. Okay, so one more time. Okay, so I'm here. I'm in the half guard, the headquarters. We've been facing me, reverse de la Hiva, shin cut, step. So I drive the knee. If I need to, if he's really getting me comfortable, I'll start picking up his hips. Right? I can start working my way to his back. From here, look at how I bring my knee over as well and block. Find your grits. Use your chest, driving forward. Knee comes up, sorry, kickstand, knee comes up, sit the foot, shave. Pick him up, guys, don't fall back. Even with that, that's kind of like a weak grip, but even with the weak grip, right? The placement was right, you're on the carotid, this thumb is pushing on the carotid on this side. I'm shelving his head on my leg, right? Kind of like a pillow for him. And then, honestly, I don't know if one over the other is more important. Find what works best for you. What do you think is strong? Here? Or there's your answer, right?
He's only half conscious.
Yeah, if guys, if done right, you should be getting choked already leading up to you getting to this final position, right? Like most good chokes in jiu-jitsu. If I set it up and I can hold that in position, it should be like starting to choke him. It should be starting to feel like a squeeze on his neck, even from right here. But don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to choke him right here, okay? You guys always gotta be ready for if they go to try to put their back on the mat and swimming under and starting to look for the head and arm choke as well, okay? Notice the way I finish here, butterfly grip. Chin into the eye socket. I'm not literally trying to put my chin in the eye socket. It's near impossible for him. But I am trying to take his arm and push it onto this part of his neck, okay? So I'm using this part, my chest, to push that while I'm pulling on the arm to squeeze here. Right, so two different chokes that you guys got. You want to see on somebody? Oh, okay. No? Good? Okay. What, you want to feel it? Anybody else want to feel it?
I think I have that.
Okay guys, so again, shin cut, step. See, I turn and I turn away from his power. Now I can fight against this. Hand's gonna come into the collar. If you guys are having trouble hand fighting with him right here and he's not letting the arm through, just trap this bottom arm and start working your way over the side. See, I can stop this bottom arm right here. I can trap this. This will lead to a lot of back takes as well as me finding a way to start lacing this hand through and finding the invisible collar grips. From here, guys, kickstand, knee comes up, I sit. This back foot is gonna come up. Notice how I put like the palm of my foot on his ribs right here. And then as I sit up, this foot passes over. Like say if you have your hand up, ready to defend the other one. Yeah, exactly. I wanna like, boom. So I thread that through. Whereas if I'm just like, hey, you know, he's gonna grab that. So I try to like be sneaky with it. Even with it right there, this is fine. I pick him up, boom, pass, and then from there I start working on my squeeze. Over. Or armbar.
So is the kickstand your elbow?
Kickstand is my elbow, right? So thumb is in here. I kickstand. This allows me to move freely because it's going to be hard for him to move back, right? And now I can bring my knee up, sit, tuck this foot. As I sit back, I'm pulling here and I'm shaving. So I'm like bringing this foot through like this. Lift him up. This foot comes over, and then it's this. Cool?
Sir.
Okay, on two, 1, 2. The last one, guys.